Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Oz with Oz Mechanics, and on today's video, I got this 2010 Toyota Corolla right behind me. So the issue with this Toyota Corolla, customer was complaining that he noticed that the lights were kind of flickering, the battery light turned on, and after that, he just kind of freaked out, so he gave me a call. So I really thought this was going to be a simple video. I was thinking maybe a battery or an alternator, but the thing is, I really had to pull out the camera because when I went out there, there was no response at all, and on top of that, I got my jump pack and it wouldn't even do anything. So how about we get to this video and we try to get this vehicle back to the customer. Alright, so we're inside the vehicle right now, and one thing is, when the customer dropped off the vehicle, it drove in and he didn't tell me anything about having the starting issue. But while I was working on the other vehicles, I let it sit for about an hour and a half. And then I went to the vehicle and let's see. So I got my key. And let's check this out. Nothing. Alright, so I was like, alright, we have a bad battery right here. Got my jump pack, went to the vehicle, put my jump pack on there. And guess what? Nothing happened. And you're probably asking, well, how'd you bring it into the shop? I saw the alternator right there, and I hooked it up to the alternator, and everything turned on. So I was like, all right, this is probably going to be a pretty cool video. But as you see, put the key in, no start. So let's go to the front of the vehicle, and I have my multimeter hooked up, and I actually would just want to check everything out, see how it looks up there, and hopefully we can find out this problem. All right, so right now we're in front of the vehicle right here, and as you can see, I have two connections on here. So we see two wires because one is hooked up to the Pico and one is hooked up to this Varus right here. And I have two connections on here, and it shouldn't mess up with the testing. But because when I go inside the vehicle, I can't see the front of the vehicle right here. So I can't see the voltage, but I can see the Pico right here. And as you can see, we're at 12.68 volts. That looks like a good battery. But the crazy thing is, when I go inside the vehicle, the voltage stays the same. So we need to figure out exactly what's going on. So right here we have 12.68 volts. Let's go inside the vehicle. Gonna put the key on the on position, and we're gonna see if it makes any difference. And look, I'm turning the key, and nothing. No blips. No changes, everything's the same. And I have it over here in the graphing, and I'm gonna show you this as well in graphing so you can see that there's no drops. Alright, so we have it graphing right there. Let's go inside the vehicle again, and we're just gonna try to crank this over twice to see if anything happens. And nothing. Alright, so what's going on there? So let's go back to digital multimeter. What's causing this issue? We can see that we have battery voltage, but we're not turning on the vehicle. Now we gotta see if we have any voltage drops. So what I'm gonna do now is, like I told you, if we kind of go back just a little bit, this was my jump pack, and what I did, this Noco jump pack, I hooked it up to the battery and nothing, no response at all. But then I came over here to the case of the alternator. So if we go here, let me get you there. So the way I hooked it up, I hooked up to the body of the alternator and then to this cable right here. And once I did that, the vehicle turned on. So that lets me know that right now the battery is not connected to the vehicle, but this is right here. So when I try to jump start it from the battery, it would not work. So when I hook this up to the battery, it would not work. But when I hook this up to this wire right here, it did work. So right now I want to do a voltage drop test and see where our issue's at. But to do this voltage drop test, I have to put the key in the on position to put a little bit of load to see if we get any drop. So let's do that and let's go inside. Alright, so what I want to do right here, this is going to be a little simple test. Right now we're hooked up to the battery. I took off the picoscope lead so we can move this around a lot easier. And we have our meter right there, so we're reading the voltage. And this is all we're going to do. I just want to go ahead and move our ground lead. And we have our positive still hooked up there, and I just want to hook it up to the alternator body right there. And check that out. We should have 12 volts. If we have good ground, that should be the same voltage as we're hooked up here. So now let's do this right here. So we're going to hook up to our battery negative. And now what we're going to do, we're going to get our positive lead and hook it up to the alternator right there. And there you see, we have 12.69 volts. So there's a voltage drop on the actual negative side. So now we're going to do this. So we can actually try another way to do another voltage drop test. Let's say we got, well, we're going to change our readings right here. So we're going to go, we're a 20 volt scale. Let's go to at least 2 volts. And what we want to do, we have it hooked up on the positive side. Now we got to go right here on the positive side on this side. As you can see, we got 0.003 of a voltage drop. That is good. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and move our positive lead to our negative lead. There you go. So we're going to see the potential difference from our battery to our ground. And look, it is way too high. Check that out. Negative 11.67. These are supposed to be bridged right here. What I'm hooked up on right here is our casing of our alternator. So let me just show you. We can go a little bit lower in there so we can see where we're hooked up at. We are hooked up to our casing of our alternator, and that should be ground. So when we hooked up to the positive side, we hooked up right here. So we should have a good ground on our casing. And as you can see, we are 11.71. So now what we need to find out is where is our voltage drop? Where's our resistance? So this is a test that is going to, this is why we made the video. We got to verify where we have this issue at. So let's go a little bit farther in there and we're going to see if we can find our problem. All right, so what we want to do, I just want to verify that our voltage drop is not from here to here. So what I'm going to do is barely touch there and go there. And as you can see, we do not have a voltage drop. Now, if I go down here, I can clearly see, let me bring you down here. Check that out. And this is rusted too. So we have this wire that goes into the actual body right there, and then it goes to this other one right here, and then that one, if we go all the way through, let's get you all the way through over here. This wire goes right there to the transmission, and then from there it kind of basically feeds off this whole engine compartment. As we're gonna go ahead and we have one hooked up here. Now let's hook up this other end to the first connection down here. All right, so as you can see, there's no voltage drop there. Now we gotta go to the next one. See how this looks. All right, as you can see, there's a higher voltage drop there. Man, that's about half a volt. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hook this up to the actual transmission, the one that we're looking at over here, and see how that one looks. So that as well is 0.5 volt. And then if we move this to the actual housing of on the alternator, let's see how that looks. That's 0.5 volt. And you know what's probably going on right now? Let's verify that the key. All right, I just cycled the key, and I can guarantee you by moving this, look at that. Man, this is loose. Look at that. If I move it that way, this cable is just loose the whole time. Let me bring you right down there so we can check it out. I don't know if you can hear that. Look at that little movement down there. All right, I'm gonna take off this battery, clean all that up, make sure it's not rusted or nothing like that, and we're gonna retest everything. All right, so when I went to clean this up, look what broke off. Yep, broke off there. So I had to kind of move these around. This was actually in here, so I moved this cable to this side and then this cable over here. So now we're gonna put everything back together, and then we're gonna do our voltage drop test, and then after that I want to verify if this car even turns on. Whew! Cross our fingers. All right, now this is the moment of truth right here. We're gonna see if this actually fixes it up. So first we're gonna go ahead and put one of these ends right there, and the other end, you know what, we're just going straight to the issue right here. Why BS it? So I'm gonna go right to the alternator housing, and look at that. And I have the key on the on position. I'm pretty excited right now. I think this is gonna be a fix right here. Let's go inside the vehicle and let's see if this actually turns on. But what we can do, let's verify. All right, we're at 20 volt scale. So let's verify. Now we still have battery voltage. Awesome. A little bit low, but we still have battery voltage. Let's go inside. Let's see if we can crank this vehicle on. All right, check this out. All right, I had the key on position the whole time, and look at this. Everything is illuminated. Everything looks good. We're going to take our key off. As you can see, it turns off. Put it back on. It turns on. All right, now we're going to see if it starts. And then after that, because remember, he drove it in, and it just acted up at this point. So I'm kind of happy about that. But the main issue is it going to charge? Are we going to get a charge after this? So let's see. First of all, does it start? All right, she starts. Now let's go to the front of the vehicle and let's check out our voltage there. So let's move to the front. Hey, check that out. 13.86 volts. And rising still. So this alternator is actually doing its work right now. So I think we have a fix right here. Man, if you do like this video, please put a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell to get all the brand new videos coming out from Oz Mechanics. All it was, bad connection right there with a broken bolt, and now we have battery voltage. Y'all take care. Y'all have a nice day.